Ladies and gentlemen, how y'all doing? I hope you're all having a fantastic day. We're here today with Aoi Bungaku series episode 4 reaction. Now I do know that this is the last episode of this little series, the No Longer Human series slash arc. I don't know really what you would define it as in the grand scheme of things, but it's the last part of this specific story. Which, you know, I knew before going in, like, that the first thing is, like, the first 4 episodes or so, give or take. Like, I knew it was, like, 3 or 4. Well, it didn't end at episode 3, so it obviously has to be 4. But I'm actually really glad that, like, from here on out, I basically don't know how long these stories are, you know, because it's nice knowing. In the past, I would have been much more happy on knowing that, you know, something is a certain amount of episodes long. Like, for example, in this case, that this would be 4 episodes long, because that means, you know, I would put aside time, and then I would watch, like, I would only record once I knew I could get in, you know, 4 episodes at once. But just because the format I'm doing episodes and the format that I have a schedule right now, I don't really have to, like, record everything in once, because it's all being recorded. Like, by the time you see this on Patreon, it'll have been like 3 weeks before I recorded, or 2 weeks before I recorded it, before it went up. And by the time you see it on YouTube, it'll have been like 3 or 4 weeks by the time, you know, before I recorded it. So basically, everything. I don't have to rush anything, you know. I don't have to, like, watch a certain amount of episodes a day. I can just basically, right now, I can just record whatever, and that's kind of the schedule. That's kind of the path that I want to have for the next few weeks, months, maybe even years. Yes, oh boy, what happened to me quitting anytime soon? But regardless, episode 4. Let us hop right into this episode. Now that's gonna stir up conflict. Because they are masterpieces. Last chapter. I've been really enjoying this, I have to say. Yeah, it's not. I don't know. I don't expect these videos to do really well on YouTube. In all fairness, I think maybe they'll get, if I'm lucky, they'll get like 100 views. But realistically, I'm thinking maybe 40, 50 views, give or take. But I'm still happy. Like, I don't care that much about the views in general, as long as I'm enjoying these episodes, and I'm enjoying these episodes. So that's what it boils down to. It's funny. There was a mirror. I was like almost half expecting a ghost in a mirror. Oh my. Alright. Still drawing the ghost. Yeah. I don't feel like this is gonna go bad. He's just found like a route to normality, I guess, if you want to call it that. Why was she just like that? I'm hoping it was just the water that splashed in her eyes or something. Just moving from woman to woman. But I can understand if it's difficult. Yeah. I can understand if it's difficult for him to find a route. That's a bit outright. Yeah, the slap was coming. The slap was coming. Oh my. Look how straightforward he is now. I was so hesitant before, but now look at him. Aye. You always gotta one-up it. Do you wanna read it in front of him? Oh, dark thoughts. Dark thoughts.
それから先だよ。すぐに売り物がなくなるだろう。 ああ、確かに。だからこれからは本当に書きたいものを書こうと思ってるよ。
Well, there it is.
仕事は多少減ったけど、なんとか食えるくらいは稼いでいるさ。
He's not about to.
ところでここに
He still hasn't gone upstairs.
そうだったな。
今さら何人の道
You can just see it in his eyes. You can just see it in his eyes.
お前は親父さんに認めてもらいたかっただけなんだよ。
あんなやつただの政治家だ。それがもうこの世にいないのか。
And you can see it by how he's drinking.
あいつがいれば。
He's about to go downstairs and see her. See her on the editor. And that is how his work has been getting money. That's... She's not dead, is she? Murder that clown. He's about to. His whole life, in a matter of 2 minutes, the life that he built up for himself, that he actually found, finally, after a lifetime of searching.
これ以上の地獄があるのか。どうだかな。よしこは私の
He truly lost it.
一度疑いを持って
There's no going back.
とてつもなく薄汚れた感情が
There is no going back after something like that. That was close.
元には戻れないんだ。
Off it shit.
俺は人間として何かが足りない。
Oh, no. I'm just looking at... I'm looking at the timer right now. You're not gonna end it like this. You're not gonna end it like this. Bro, what on earth? These 4 episodes... These 4 episodes were truly special.
洗浄しましたが、この患者さんの場合、ここでの治療は難しいでしょ
う。This path that he works, that he walks on. This path, this endless path. Yeah. I have to take. I don't have a hat on, but if I did, I'd have to take it off. You knew that a life like his couldn't be ordinary. And it couldn't end ordinarily.
何がご入り用ですか？
苦しいのです。何か 楽になる薬を。
では
いや、ここにいたのか。
I've been expecting you. I've been expecting you.
これからはずっと一緒だぜ。
Man, what a flipped up... I can't even say messed up life he's had. But just what a... That's the end, isn't it? What a just complicated life he's led. What a complicated life he has led. That was so well written. And so refreshing, most importantly. So refreshing in a sense of... It's been a long time since I've seen a story where there was like no... What's the... No overarching... You can't even say that. No, what's the word I'm looking for? That was less fairy tale like. Like it was less grand in scope, but more so just personal. And personal stories are always some of my favorite. Because quite frankly, like personal stories... Let me pause it here just so I don't see the preview for next episode if there is one. But like personal stories are always just so criminally underrated. Because quite frankly, like personal stories, you know, they have less flair for the dramatic. They have less flair for the exciting. But I feel like getting to know a character's motivations or a lack thereof, and getting to see where a character is, then develops and ultimately kind of falls back to, just getting to see all that, like the character arc, the character journey, doesn't, you know, not even a positive one, but just getting to see that character progress, you know, based on not just the times that they are living in, which is obviously always key, because in this, you know, this was written a long time ago, but like it also highlights, you know, just the struggles that women had to go through, and also it highlights, you know, the struggles that people, I can't say with mental illness, but rather people that are abnormal to the normal, right? Let's leave it at that. Abnormal to the normal, or as the show would say, no longer human. What kind of struggle they used to go through? Not so much nowadays. Nowadays there is a lot of help. Granted, you know, people don't want to take help because of the stigma that is associated with it. But for the amount of people that don't take the help, that don't take the initiative, you know, to seek help, there are, you know, an equal amount of people that do take the initiative and seek help. And you know what? Usually it helps them. So I like it. I like it because it's like very true to its time. Obviously much easier because, you know, it was written, not, you know, it wasn't written in our time, and it had to be adopted, you know, it had to be written for a different time. That wasn't the case, but, you know, it was written at a different time, and quite frankly, you know, it is a product of its time. But I really, 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 really enjoy just how real, sounds odd, yeah, how real it is, how real the story was, where, like, you know, you had the ghost, but, like, you know, the ghost was a symbolism. It's not like anything supernatural, it's not like anything of that sort. It was just a good story. And it's been a while, really, honestly, it's been since I was a child, since my grandparents used to read me fairy tale stories, that I've really, really read a story where I was just like, you know what, these characters are just absolutely fantastic. Like you look at, I guess if I made a comparison, probably some Shakespearean work, I would say Macbeth comes to mind, Hamlet, perhaps. Like those two come to mind immediately when I'm thinking of Macbeth more so than Hamlet or anything, but like those two stories in particular come to mind when I'm thinking of like personal stories. You could say Romeo and Juliet, but quite frankly, I've always thought Romeo and Juliet were a little bit overrated, and I feel like it has a much better overarching plot rather than just focusing on the characters specifically. I know it does focus on them, on a lot of them, but like I do feel like it's more so overarching. But like I felt like this story was really similar to like what you would get from like a earlier Shakespeare story. Like, not a later one, but like an earlier one. I mean, there are plenty of authors and writers that, you know, are very good with telling personal stories too. George R. R. Martin comes to mind. I mean, even Tolkien to an extent. But like, these are all fantasy written stories with an overarching plot that progresses. This one, it was just a character study. And in terms of anime, what it actually reminds of is something like Ping Pong the animation. That's really what it reminds of, like Ping Pong the animation, which was very much centered around the characters, you know, just the characters in general. Or something like Ashita no Joe, which was also very much focused on the characters rather than the plot moving the story forward. It was the characters moving the story forward, and that's exactly what we got here. The character moving the story forward. You could even say backwards if you want to, in all honesty. But it was just a very great, well written story, and having that personal attachment as well, you know, to the author makes this a little bit more special, because I feel like personal stories, they always hit you once, once you see that based on a true novel by XXX or based on a true story by XXX, you know, that's usually when you're like, damn. It hurts to see. It hurts to see because, you know, they were struggling. You know, they were struggling. And, you know, it's like they say. Good artists describe the pain of the world. Great artists describe the pain within themselves. You look at some of the best artists in history, it was usually because they manifested, you know, their pain, their emotions, their feelings into art. You've got that here. You've got that with, for example, with Ludwig van Beethoven, who, felt great despair and wanted to off himself because of his deafness and whatnot. Then you've got it with Van Gogh, who was obviously very suicidal and I think actually committed suicide because he couldn't make a single penny from his paintings. So you have like all these great artists who express pain, through their medium, through their art, in a way that is very difficult to portray, but like, it is very much real. It's very much a presentation of who they were as a human being, who they were as a person, and just seeing how they emote these things through their stories, through their crafts. And that, to me, that's just a very special trait to have. Not many artists have that trait, only the greatest of the greats do. And quite frankly, I'm glad I got to watch. I'm glad I got to watch this story, this 4-part story. I'm really interested now to actually see, what comes next. Like what are the future stories from here on out? Because quite frankly, if this 4-part story was the first one, I'm only expecting better and better things. Unless like the first story is the best story, but I'm only expecting better and better things from here on out. So that's just my take though on the No Longer Human story. Let me know what you all think. But I will see you all, ladies and gentlemen, in the next one, everyone. Until then, have a nice day. Peace out and bye. Hey everybody, if you like this video, please be sure to rate, comment, favorite, and subscribe. And if you want to see more of these kind of videos, be sure to check out Patreon to get 1 week early access as well as full length. Until next time everybody, peace out and have a nice day.